Welcome to another active stretch and recovery day with core moves. So today we're going to do a 21-minute Pilates flow, but the focus for it is all about the core. So we'll be working the arms, we'll be working the legs, obviously the belly, but really the focus is the core. So I just want to remind you about how the transversus works. So our transversus is our deepest core muscle, wraps all the way around the abdomen like a broad sheet. Or like a corset, and it just pulls everything in and braces it all into the center of the body. It works together with the obliques. We have two sets of oblique, well four, but two sets of oblique muscles. We have the rectus abdominis, which flexes the torso forward, and we have the QL, which stabilizes the spine. The obliques rotate the torso, flex it to the side and also to the front, but the transversus keeps everything stable. And it only works when our pelvis is in neutral and it connects with the pelvic floor. So whenever you are doing any of your abdominal exercises, you want to make sure that your pelvis is in neutral if your feet are down or you're on a closed kinetic chain, so that your abdominals stay nice and flat. So you can see I'm flexed up there and my abdominals are staying flat, my pelvic floor is lifted, and so I'm using my transversus to come into this flexion together with my other abdominals. If I am not in neutral, then when I flex up, I get this bulging in the middle of my belly like a loaf of bread, and that means I've lost my transversus. So it doesn't mean that my abdominals aren't working, it's just I'm not using all of them, and I'm definitely not using that deep corset muscle, which is what protects our back and gives us that really nice strong core connection. So think about your pelvic placement. Remember, if we are standing or sitting, then it is horizontal to the floor, the two bony landmarks at the front and back of your pelvis. You can feel the bump at the back, that's your PSIS and your ASIS at the front, so kind of where your thumb and your finger would land over your pelvis. Okay, when we're lying down, it would be perpendicular to the floor, so one is stacked on top of the other. So with that said, we're going to start on our back and we're just going to focus on the pelvic tilts, bringing the pelvis in a tuck under position and releasing to our neutral, and rocking it forward and bringing it back to neutral. So bring yourself on your back, 20 minutes, 31 seconds long. Get yourself nice and comfortable. The feet are away from the hips a little bit, but hip distance apart, flat on the floor. Bring the whole body on the floor, relax the shoulders down and back, and try and find that lightness underneath your lower back. So if you put the heels of your hands on your hip bones and your fingertips on your pubic bone, you'll be able to see that your lower belly is horizontal to the floor. Now as you exhale, you want to pull your ribs towards your hips, squeeze the glutes, and pull the pubic bone towards the nose to press that lower back into the mat. So that's our imprint or brace position. Okay, that's where you're going to get that bread dome effect. Then as we inhale, we're going to release it back to our neutral, and then tilt it forward, and you'll feel your lowest ribs leave the floor, and that would be our anterior tilt. So we want to come back into that neutral position and try and stay focused on this neutral position throughout. From here, reach your hands up to the ceiling, slide those shoulders down to meet the mat. And as we exhale, we're going to flex up and come up to seated. So nod your chin, reach your fingertips towards your feet, squeeze the belly towards the spine and lengthen all the way up. Then come back just behind those sit bones by pulling the belly button towards the floor. We're going to pick up our right leg and then the left. You're going to find your balance point here where you feel like you're sitting between the back of your pelvis and your sit bones, and your knees are elevated. Now you can hold on to the back of your knees to help create that support, or you can reach your arms so that they're parallel with your shins. This is your modified boat pose. And you just hold it here and breathe and look towards those big toes. Keep pointing them to find that connection in the legs. Keep pulling the belly in to feel that strong core connection, and find the length in your spine as you lengthen from the middle of your rib cage up. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, grab onto the backs of those knees, bring the feet back to the floor, slide them back in towards the bum, and bring yourself back onto the floor. So come comfortably on the floor, slide your heels in towards your bum, take that inhale in your neutral, and then as you exhale, push that lower back in, find that imprint or brace position where you scoop that pubic bone towards your face, then push into the heels, squeeze the bum, and roll the body up to your bridge position. Allow your collarbone to be nice and wide and open and relaxed, like it's smiling up towards the ceiling. The ribs are still pulled down towards the hip bones so that you keep that nice flat neutral spine. We're going to stay here and breathe. Inhale, exhale, roll the spine down. and release back to your neutral. Take another inhale, pull the ribs down, pull the hips up towards the ribs, squeeze the glutes, roll those knees away, come back onto your bridge. And we're going to pick up the left leg to a tabletop and then point that toe up towards the ceiling. Flex the toes towards the face and drag your heel down. Point the toe, sweep that toe back up to the ceiling. Flex the toe to the face and drag it down. Keep the pelvic floor lifted the whole time as we point and flex and drag and point and lift it up, bend the knee and articulating, push the foot back into the floor. Keep those hips up nice and high. Bring the right foot to that tabletop and then kick the toe up to the ceiling. Make sure the thigh is parallel. Flex the ankles so the toes face the base and drag the heel down till the knees are in line with each other. Point the toe, sweep that heel up, keep those shoulders down and back as you dorsiflex the ankle. Drag the heel away, finding that length from the hip bone all the way to the ankle bone. And again, flexing and drag, point and sweep. Now bend the knee, articulate through the foot. Keep those hips up nice and high, and then we'll lower the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. From there, roll over onto your right side, and we're going to bring our right elbow down onto the floor. Open your feet out so that your left knee touches your right heel, and then push yourself away. Keep that hand connected to the floor, sweep your left hand up, and a gentle side bend over to the right. And lengthen up, and again, gentle side bend, and lengthen up. Like your body is making a big rainbow curve from your left hip bone all the way to your left fingertip, and lengthen up. Good job. Now slide that hand away a little bit, point the fingertips towards the front corner. Slide your legs back so that your hips are stacked on top of each other, your elbow is under the shoulder, and then just lift the hips up. So you can stay here in your side plank like this. You can extend your top leg, and if you want to, you can extend your bottom leg. Your front leg will be in front of the bottom leg or stacked on top of each other, and just hold it there and breathe. Make sure that elbow is directly underneath the shoulder so you don't have any pain or pinching in the shoulder. And if it hurts on your elbow, you can actually just roll up your mat if you're on a really hard surface. But keep that bottom waistline lifted throughout. And if you need to, even with that knee down, make sure you're not collapsing. The knee is down, but that bottom waistline is working really hard there. And we're strong through the legs. Now we're going to start to abduct that top leg. So even if you've got that knee down, you're going to lift that top leg up to hip height and then lower it down. If you're up on your shoulder, you lift it up and lower it down. So you're going to lift it up to the height of your shoulder and then gently bring it in. And lift and lower. Keep the belly and the glutes connected to keep you perpendicular to the floor here. Hip bones are perpendicular to the floor. Pelvis is in neutral. And if it doesn't feel good on your elbow, you can also come up onto your hand. Obviously that's a higher plank, but it might sometimes help the shoulder. It depends on everyone's shoulder anatomy, where they're at. Then you're going to bend your bottom knee, bring yourself back down to the floor. And from your elbow, okay, or your hand, we're going to bring the left knee on top of the right and then rock the weight back. So we come just behind the head of the thigh bone. So you'll be on the fleshy bit between your sit bones and your thigh bone. And then you're going to pick your knees up. Find the connection with your abdominals and then lengthen the toes out towards the ceiling and reach your top hand up. And you can just hold your legs here, keeping that connection with the abdomen, keeping that strength in the legs, the inner thighs working to keep the legs connected, and find that nice length in the body. And then bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor, drop the knees down, push yourself up to seating, opening those knees back out to your zigzag, and then you're just going to pick the knees up and spin them to the other side. So now your left knee is in front, your left foot is connected with your right knee, your left hand is down on the floor, your right heel is in close to your right bum cheek. We're going to sweep the hand up and come over into a left side bend. And lengthen up. Use your breath to get that nice gentle side flexion and feel that right rib cage expand with the inhalation and draw close as you exhale. One more time, sweeping it up. Feeling that nice stretch and then exhaling, bring the body back down. From there, slide the elbow onto the floor. Fingertips go towards the front corner of your mat or so that your forearm faces the top line of your mat. You're going to bring the knees back so that you have both hip bones stacked on top of each other. Your shoulder is directly over the elbow. and then open up to your side plank. So you can stay here in your side plank if that's for you. Okay, remember you can always roll up your mat to protect your elbow if it's a little bit sensitive, and you can keep those knees down, or you can scoop them up and have your top leg in front, your bottom leg in behind, or stack both of them in together and reach your top hand up towards the ceiling. Keep that opening across the collarbone, the opening across the hips, the belly pulled in, and the glutes are active to support you in this position. And keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now just gently drop that knee if you need to, and then pick that top leg up to hip height. And we're just going to lower it and lift it with our breath. You can pick that bottom knee up and do it in full abduction if you would like, and open the leg and close. Make sure you squeeze those inner thighs together and you keep really working through that bottom leg, even if the knee is down, and you're still pulling that bottom waistline away from the floor as we abduct and close that top leg. Opening and closing, not letting the sides of our waistline change shape. Feeling that strong connection with the legs and the core. Good, and then bend that bottom knee, bring the hip down to the floor. Roll your body weight back just behind that thigh bone or the head of the greater trochanter, so you're on that fleshy bit, and then pull the knees in and float them up. Once you've got your balance here, you can reach your hand and extend the legs and stay here and feel that belly pulling in towards the spine, that connection with the length in the legs, pointing the toes, squeezing the inner thighs together, pulling the belly in. Don't collapse in that shoulder, just keep breathing. Find that length, and then bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor, drop the knees back down, open the legs back up to your diamond, and bring yourself back up to seated. Spin yourself around so you can come back onto your back, and you're going to grab onto the front of your knees and then roll your body down onto the floor all the way, lengthening down. Bring your pelvis into neutral and tabletop your right leg, and then pull your ribs towards your hips towards your ribs, and pick up the left leg. Put your hands on the sides of your head, flex up and look towards your thighs. We're going to do double leg stretch now, so you're going to reach your hands overhead as you straighten your legs, and then flex up a little more as you bring everything in towards the midline of your body. Reach the elbows and bring it back in. So you bend the elbows like you're going to take a hat off and reach them overhead, and then bring everything back into the midline. Bend the elbows, reach and extend, keeping those abdominals pulled in to control your flexion. Last one, reach and sweep it in. From there, we're going to bring the head down to the floor, bring the right foot down to the floor, bring the left foot down to the floor, and slide the feet away just a little bit, but keep them hip distance apart. Sweep your hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, nod the chin, flex up and reach towards the feet. So now you've kept your pelvis in neutral, the belly is flat, you don't have that bread dome, and your head, that's your abdominals picking your head up so it rests between your shoulders. You should feel like the bottom of your scapula are tapping the floor. Your pelvis, your pubic bone is pushing away towards your toes. Your belly is long, your back is protected. And with every exhale, you can try and flex up a little more. With every inhale, brace the abdominals and lift the pelvic floor a little bit more. And exhale, flex it up. And inhale, belly in, pelvic floor lifted. And then exhale, bring your body back down. From there, tabletop the right leg and put your belly into that imprint or brace position, tabletop the left leg. Send both toes up towards the ceiling, grab onto the back of your knees. Inhale, exhale, and flex up. Coming up into your reverse crunch position with support. Now we're going to pull our right leg in towards our face as we send the left leg away and give a gentle little double pulse. And then inhale to switch, exhale, pulse. Inhale, switch, exhale, pulse. So we're stretching that hamstring as we pull the knee in, and we're working the abdominals as we send that leg away, and keep that nice high flexion of the upper thoracic spine as we're lifting our torso up towards the ceiling. Last one on the right, and last one on the left. And then both legs up towards the ceiling, bend the knees, use your momentum to roll yourself up to seated. Slide your hips back till you straighten your legs and open your knees to the distance of the mat. Flex your toes towards the ceiling. reach your hands out to the side to a T. Now you're going to spin the body towards the right side like it's spinning on a corkscrew. Then we're going to look towards that right pinky toe and begin to fold the body forward, trying to reach that baby finger towards the pinky toe. Your back hand, the thumb will turn down to protect the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the body up, come back to your rotated T, and then sweep all the way around to the left side. Nod the chin, begin to saw that left pinky toe off, turn that left thumb down. Stack the spine, stay rotated, and then come back into center. From here, bring the hands parallel with the floor and in front, reaching towards the feet, and the feet a little bit narrower to shoulder distance. And we're going to begin to curl the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Our hands stay parallel to the floor the whole time as we lengthen our body down onto the mat and sweep our hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, nod the chin, eye gaze follows those fingers. Push your heels into the floor to pull the body forward. And then stack the spine coming up. Now if you struggled with that, bend your knees, curl yourself down, and then straighten your feet when you get to that point where you can't come down anymore. Bend your knees, nod the chin, flex it up, and then push your feet away in order to give your body that momentum to pull you forward. And then stack the spine, lengthening up, shoulders away from the ears. Good, bring your hands back and turn yourself over onto your hands and knees into your 4-point kneeling position. So hands are directly underneath the shoulders, knees are directly underneath the hips. Spread those fingertips wide and then lengthen the spine into that nice, strong, long, neutral position. We're going to take an inhale here and move into our cat-cow. So you're going to anteriorly tilt the pelvis, lengthen the front of the belly, widen the rib cage, drop the shoulders back and down into retraction and lengthen the sternum. Then you're going to exhale, tuck the tail under, find that connection with your pelvic floor, pulling your belly in towards your spine, rounding through the shoulders, flexing the spine and looking towards your toes. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Lengthen the belly, lengthen the rib cage, lengthen the spine and the sternum. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck it under, coming back into that angry cat. Inhale, come back into a nice neutral position, pull the pelvic floor in, find those transverses. Now keeping the pelvis as still as possible and the back as still as possible, you're going to slide your right hand and your left feet away from each other and then lift them up to shoulder and hip height. Exhale, drop them down. Inhale, lift the same side up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift it up. One more time. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift it up. And drop it down, slide it back in. Now don't let those hips shift at all as you slide the left hand forward and the right foot back. Lift it up to shoulder and hip height and hold. And tap it down. And gently lift it up. And tap it down. And gently lift it up. Last one, tap it down. Lift it up. Tap it down and slide it in. Now keep that shape. We're just going to slide that right leg straight back again, keeping the bend in the knee. And you're going to point the toe up towards the ceiling and squeeze the glute and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Place it down on the floor without shifting the pelvis. Pick the left toe up towards the ceiling. The knee is staying bent at that 90 degrees. Don't collapse in your shoulders. Keep that strong support in the spine. 2, 1, and bring it back in. From here, we're going to open the right hand out to the side to a T, and then bend the left elbow gently as you slide your hand into that space between your knee and your hand to thread the needle, bringing your shoulder towards the floor. Stay and inhale there into that left rib cage, and then as you exhale, push into the hands, square your shoulders and your hips back towards the mat. Open the hand to the T, and then gently push into the floor and rotate the spine towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back into that square 4-point kneeling. Lift the left hand out to the T. Slide the left hand between the right hand and right knee and bring the shoulder to the floor. Inhale into that right rib cage. Exhale, push into the floor. Come back into that T and then open the chest to the opposite side of the room. Come back, squaring the shoulders and the hips. Place the hand back down into your 4-point kneeling. Spread your fingertips wide. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and then slide your right foot back in to prepare for your plank, and then your left foot back. Pull the hips forward, lengthen the spine away from the hips. Keep the length in the neck and hold that plank. Take another inhale here, and then as you exhale, push your hips up towards the ceiling as you push the front of your thighs away from your chest and your chest towards the front of your thighs, and feel that length down both sides of your waistline. You want to feel like you're trying to tear your mat in two between your feet and your hands, and you're really nice and long through both sides of the waistline, and you're trying to put your heels down on the floor, and you're breathing into your down dog. Stay there and take one more deep inhale, and then as you exhale, bend your knees, look towards your hands, push yourself forward into your plank again. And then we're going to take a baby vinyasa. So bring the knees down, and then bend the elbows for your tricep push-up to bring your chest and chin down onto the floor. From here, use your glutes to squeeze the glutes, bring the pelvis forward, uncurl the feet, and lift the chest for your little baby cobra. Exhaling, pick the hips back up, curl the toes under, push into the hands to bring the chest and chin back to the floor, and then tricep push up back to your 4-point kneeling, back to your plank, and back to your down dog. Adjust your dog if you need to here. Keep feeling that feeling of stretching and lengthening away from the floor. And you can walk the dog if you want. Pull the right knee in and push it down, and the left knee in and push it down, and the right. And really feel that stretch in the calf as you squish that heel down onto the floor, and the stretch down the sides of the body as you keep sticking your head between your elbows and feeling that movement and opening in that sacroiliac joint as your pelvis rocks side to side as you walk the dog. And then from here, we're going to pick up the right foot out to our 3-legged dog, so up towards the air, and then flex the body forward, pull the knee into the nose. From there, drop the knee down, drop the back knee down, and just slide it back into a little bit of a modified pigeon, feeling that stretch around the glutes. Just stay there and breathe. Don't come too low. If you want to, you can bend your elbows a little bit to increase that stretch. Otherwise, curl the toe under. Use your belly to pick that knee back up and bring that foot back up to your 3-legged dog. Bring it back down, knee to nose, and then place the foot down, unravel back to your plank. Let's pick up the left foot. So scoop it up into your 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, drop the foot, drop the knee, drop your back knee, uncurl the back foot, and slide the hips back, lift the chest. Feel that nice stretch in the piriformis muscle, and breathe. And if you need to, bend your elbows a little bit, take a little bit of a deeper stretch. Then from there, inhale, curl that back toe under again, pick up that back knee, find the connection with the belly, round the spine, pull that knee into the nose, and then back into your 3-legged dog. Back into your knee to nose, and then back to your plank. Unravel the body to that strong plank. Hold the plank, pulling the belly in, strong through the glutes, and then push yourself back into your down dog. Stay here and breathe, and if your arms are getting a bit tired, you can bring your knees to the floor, bring your hips to your heels, and reach your arms forward to come into your child's pose. You can also bring your hands back behind you, or you can stay in that down dog and maybe take a vinyasa. You might choose to do the baby vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or you might choose to do a full chaturanga, bending the elbows, bringing the chest towards the floor, pushing the weight forward, inhaling, lengthening the spine up like we do in our cat. Curl the body back to the plank, and then push it back into your down dog. If you were in child's pose, or if you were taking your vinyasa, just come and meet us back in our down dog. Staying here and breathing into both sides of the waistline. And then take one more inhale, bend the knees, exhale, look towards the hands, walk, step, or jump yourself towards the front of your mat and come into a forward fold. In that forward fold, just gently allow the body to hang, maybe grab onto the insides of your elbows and feel the weight of your torso pulling away from your pelvis, feeling your hamstrings stretching and lengthening with every breath. Feeling your whole body sinking closer towards the ground, but your inner thighs are still turning in towards each other so that your knees face forward towards the front of the room. And we're just going to contract our quads to stretch a little bit deeper, and then relax everything, relax the hands. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, find that abdominal connection. Pull your belly button towards your spine and feel like it's almost like a stopper on an umbrella, slowly peeling up and closing the umbrella as you unravel your spine all the way back up to standing. Lengthen the shoulders back,
Reach the hands up overhead, palms facing each other, and gently peel your heels away from the floor. Find your balance, standing up there on your heels, and then turn the palms towards the front of the room. Gently pull your elbows out wide to the side. Push the chest forward into your cactus pose as you lower your heels. Inhale, reach the hands back up, palms facing each other. Exhale, sweep the hands out wide to your sides. And then you are done. So well done. That was our Pilates flow today. Real strong focus on the core as we moved through those pretty simple postures. Some of them are hard to connect with mentally, and we did move quite quickly, so it's a good one to play back time and time again and actually make yourself familiar with those Pilates positions, because it's a really good flow for just strengthening that core, the shoulders, and the back line of the body. So I hope you enjoyed that today. We'll see you again.